England needs you.
And that is what we're here for. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this. This is a video to let you know what we've been working on behind the scenes for the last couple of months. Obviously, you might have seen an announcement come out on the Squarebase channel, which has pushed our timeline a little bit up. But it's as good a time as any to start talking about it. I'm joined by Richy. You probably know Richy if you've been on this channel before. He is the person who's been spearheading this more than anyone else, I would say. He's also currently the winningest player in the UK, so a great person to have at the helm if we're looking at international play. We're also joined by Matt Robbo, and Robbo has been playing AoS, but, you know, don't put down the pitchforks. He has moved over to Old World. The reason I mentioned that he's been playing AoS is for the last 4 years he's been playing internationally. How's that been for you?
It's been really good. So I played for AoS Team Wales. Played at 3 international tournaments and then various other small team tournaments. It's been really good. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, 8-man team tournaments. I think anyone that's played Team Warhammer will agree it's definitely the best Warhammer.
Fantastic. And that's a good point to seg into sort of what your experiences with international play and what we might expect to see with international play will be going forwards. So from your experience, what does an international tournament look like?
So we, as Team Wales, we do 2 team tournaments a year. So we do a Six Nations, and then obviously we do Worlds. Worlds being the big one. This year was in Amsterdam. It was 26 teams of 8 players, and we took, and each team's taking about 11 people with them. It's an absolutely huge event. It's like really good to see. A big old hotel in Amsterdam for 4 days. It was absolutely amazing. And Six Nations, obviously, the same format, 8 players, but obviously only 6 teams. So a little bit smaller, but still at a really good sort of competitive level. So yeah,
Perfect.
that's
And
the
were
sort of
you at
normal
the
format.
most recent Worlds for AoS, the one that was just a few months ago?
Yes, yeah, that's the one I went to. Yeah.
Fantastic. Obviously, Louise did a fantastic video on that, sort of showcasing what that sort of event is like from an outsider's perspective. I'll link that down in the description below. So if you are curious as to what the sort of scale of an international tournament might be, what it looks like, you'll be able to check that one out. It is a great video. It's really positive, a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So talking about Louise, Rob has put an announcement up for the Old World Worlds. So if you haven't seen that video, go check out Squarebase. It's a very exciting new tournament that he is offering next year, which is going to be an international teams tournament. And we are basically trying to create a hub for English players so we can all get together, get some games in, practice the game, and basically grow as a community of English players.
That sounds great. So where would we find that hub?
So we have created the hub on Discord, which we are going to put in a link down below in the description. We also have a Twitter page, which we've just started. There isn't too much on there yet, but obviously you guys are free to post on there so we can create the community and just create a really, really nice sense of playing for the country and just a bit of national pride in Old World as well.
Fantastic stuff. So obviously you've mentioned getting games in. So from your experience with international play, what sort of things would that look like, Robbo, in terms of international scrims? Is that something that you'd be looking to do?
Yes, definitely. So we did on the build up to Worlds, we did quite a few. Obviously, we used TTS for that, which is obviously Old World's got a much better system of Warhol, so that's much better. But TTS, we played against Germany, we played against American teams, we played against Finland, we did loads of things like that. So you do the full TTS has a pairings, you can do the full pairings with everyone watching, so everyone gets to learn how the pairings work, and then you get sort of 2 weeks to then go away and arrange your games and play them. They're really good way to play because you can play at a really high competitive level against other international players without the hassle of trying to, meet up, which is obviously difficult against teams that are in other countries.
It's a lot easier to get the games on online. And as you were saying, Warhol, obviously a fantastic platform, something that's very easy to get your games in, and something that we'll be looking at and working with Hugo on as well. So obviously, apart from that, we'll be looking at doing in-house practice and in-house scrims as well. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for practice if it's something that if you're competitively minded, you want to play and you want to get more games in, this is going to be a great place for you.
So some more exciting news that's coming out. We are looking to also play in some traditional WTC style 8-person events, which are going to be fully inclusive and open to everyone to try and play for. But this is going to be down to a merit-based system. So what we're looking to do in the hub is get everybody to play, and then we can work out on a merit-based rather than some of the old boys club kind of tactics that we used in older clubs in different gaming formats, where they would normally use their friends and all that kind of stuff to be able to. I'll do that bit again. Where that would just be a who's friendly with who, whereas this one's going to be purely merit based and based on whether you're a good person and also very good at the game, which is something that's very, very important to us. And we want to impart that onto the British community as well. And we want Team England to stand for that. So when I say merit, I don't just mean your player skill. I also mean whether you can gel with other people and also just be a nice person. We would also love to win the event and also win the most sporting. We just want England to be the best team that it can possibly be.
That all sounds great. So obviously this year coming up, with it going to be the first year of international play proper, it's probably going to be a bit different to what you'd expect. But coming into later years, I think we'll probably end up in a more standardized sort of pattern where you have one or two big events over the course of the year that you're looking to work towards. What does that look like from your experience in AoS, Robert?
So sort of typical year for Team Wales. Obviously, we start the new so after Worlds, we start a new year. Obviously, we'll vote in a new captain potentially. That'll go through, and once that's gone through, we look to do two sort of meetups a year. So we do, and it's not just gaming. So one of them will be a practice weekend where we get together, we play 20 games, and we absolutely grind out practice. But also on the other side, just so the team gels, we also would meet up and have sort of just a weekend together. We'll do some activities. I know I missed it, but the lads, it was when Barbie came out. The lads met up in Nottingham. They went to watch Barbie. They went like canoeing down a river. They did all sorts of fun things together. So it just makes it that better environment because it makes it a team of actual friends, not just the 8 best players that we can get and just throw them together for a tournament. I think that was important for Wales. And then when we do obviously when you put out the team applications, everyone can apply. We're using experience, wins and all that good stuff as well as are you going to commit to the community? So we got them 2 meetups before Six Nations, and then there'll be 2 more before Worlds. So we want people that are going to commit. We do weekly Discord chats. Obviously, I spoke about the scrims. People that are going to commit, going to gel as a team, really works out well. So as Team Wales AOS, we had a bit of controversy with an old captain, and we had a bit of a reset and a bit of a relook at our values, and we sort of coined the what we like to call the Welsh way of playing. So we wanted people who will play at a top competitive level, but also fairly, also be the sort of team that if you draw us in Worlds, you're excited to play Wales. Oh, we've got Wales, that's great. We're gonna have 8 great games. No one's gonna try and gotcha, no one's gonna try any sort of dodge. It's gonna be clean, fully intent Warhammer. So everyone knows what's going on. We do things together with our opponents. So everyone just has a good time. And there's no bad feelings at the end of the game. That's the sort of thing we were aiming for, and we put that into place. And our first Six Nations, after we put that into place, Team Wales managed to win Best Sporting. So I think that goes to show that that's really important as well as competitive Warhammer. If we want, a good team of nice people, Wales to me feels like a bit of a family now. We talk constantly all the time. We talk outside of Warhammer. It's really good environment. It's not just that, it's actual friends getting together, playing Warhammer, having fun. Obviously lots of practice, lots of, everyone's open, talking about lists, helping each other out with practice. So we've got to play when there's 26 teams of 8, there's so many lists, so many armies to practice against, and we're all jumping in. I put my hand up. I'm not sure about Skaven, and someone will be like, right, let's get on TTS. I'll put a Skaven army in front of you, and we'll talk through it. We all learn together. We'll all jump on a Discord call, and we'll all live stream that and watch it. Everyone learns together. It's really fun as well.
Yeah,
It's good to
and
see
that's
that
exactly
together.
the sort of reason that we wanted people like you involved, where you are going to, in this case, it'd be the English way of playing, where you are getting teams coming up to us and being like, hell yeah, we're playing against England. This is going to be 8 clean games. We're going to have a great time. We're going to lose because they're, absolute killers. But, it's going to be above board. It's going to be great fun, great sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going for. And as you say, that sort of in-team practice environment is absolutely invaluable. Good training between players, understanding how to practice well, talking through games instead of just putting 2 armies across the table from each other and then, trying your best to win, making sure that the person that you're playing with understands how things are going. And because you're going to be stood shoulder to shoulder at an event, so there's no point beating them every time you play. You want to make it so that they understand how to beat you so you can get the most out of them at the event.
That's it, exactly. No gotcha moves. You're going to explain how your armies work so that they can understand it when they come up against it. Remember, everyone, that you're going to be playing with these people. So we're all here trying to make a community of gamers and just enjoy the game that we all love so much.
That's all well and good, but what if you're not looking to be part of Team England because you're not English or you don't live in England or maybe anything like that? Well, I would say this should motivate you, if you haven't already, to look into your team's national team, see if they're doing something similar, look to get good international practice if that's the sort of player you are, if you want to be playing competitively. As I said, we're going to be looking to do international scrims for practice. Playing through Warhol, obviously great. Obviously, the other games, Warhammer has in 40k, there's the Battle of Britain. You were talking about 6 Nations for Age of Sigmar. There are various international, but within the UK, team events. And those are the sorts of team events that you take. I can't speak for 6 Nations, but for Battle of Britain, you might take multiple smaller teams. There are multiple 5-player teams that go from each nation, and you get to practice, see how people play in a team event, and it's good. Good practice gets you ready for that sort of end of year international event that you're all working towards.
Yeah, so if any of you budding team captains out there can rustle together some teams, could you please message either Ed or myself on Discord? The link for his Discord is down below. Mine is Dowie After Dark. If you could drop us a message that you're organising a team, then we could organise some scrims against you guys, and hopefully we will see you at some team tournaments in the future. So if you're not even interested in playing in team tournaments, or if you haven't played any tournaments in the past and you're slightly nervous about it, please feel free to still join. You can still be part of Team England in a supportive role, or even if you just want to see what lists people are using, please come along into the Discord and we can just build a community. We're not just trying to create Team England, we're trying to create the community.
There are a few programs that we're going to be working with to some extent or another. Hasn't been fully tied down. Obviously, Warhol I've mentioned already. But one of the other ones is the oldworldrankings.com. I'll be speaking to Gomo at some point in the next week or two. There'll be a full interview about that system going up. But it is a ranking system that tracks all of the events across regions. And I believe he's looking at doing international rankings as well. Why is that relevant? Well, it's nice to see how players are performing. Currently, we have 3 of the top 5 players in the UK, with more players just dropping down into those 7, 9, myself at 11 spot. We've also got 6 players who are holding top rankings for their faction. Obviously, faction speciality is something that's quite important in a team tournament because you want to be able to play a faction or an army to a really high degree, but locking yourself into just one faction might not be the best idea in the long term, depending on how armies shake out.
So basically, that's all from us. We just want to say, come join the hub, be part of Team England, and come play and represent your country at an international level.